Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. On tap is what should be a pretty good matchup between the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. With that, let's get up to Charlotte. Standing by, our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Just a few moments ago, this building was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerged from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with the New York Jets. From up top next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And folks, we were already excited for this game. And then before the contest, you and I are down on the field outside the white line.
Yes, we were following the rules.
We were following the rules, and a ball comes over our direction, but we can't see it. Somebody yells heads up, and instinctively you turn around and you snare it one-handed with your off left hand. So now we're really ready for football.
No gloves either.
No gloves.
No gloves. Not like what the guys are wearing playing the game now. But wasn't that all better that time we're down there? I got a coffee spilled on me when I yelled about the punt return.
At the Vikings, right?
Yeah, it's a much better job being heads up this time. Thank you for the notice.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They're led out by their big-bodied electric quarterback, Cam Newton.
Cam has all the skills that you're looking for. The arm that can do everything, the ability to run, hard to bring down because of his size, but the joy that he plays the game, I think that's his stock in trade. That's his calling card. That's what sets him apart from other players.
Look at him. It's a party now. Check it out, Reed.
On 1st and 10, Newton. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's this man and his neck clear the backfield down to the lunch chair. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
This player to stay behind the line, but I want to see how the defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
QB's trash. Let's go.
3rd and long. It's Newton. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
On 4th down, the Panthers send out Michael Pilardi to kick it away. And it's fielded at the 34. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. Commanding the offense will be the highly touted USC product, Sam Darnold. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. The offensive starters now for the Jets.
I don't know about you, but I love a good undrafted free agent success story. So let's take a look at Robbie Anderson, wide receiver, because in 2017, 63 catches, 941 yards, and a strong candidate for the Pro Bowl. Didn't quite get there, but was knocking on the door. How about that for an undrafted free agent out of Temple, now making good in the NFL?
Now a draw play. This is Bell. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Back to throw, Darnold. Got his man, Robbie Anderson. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets 1st down.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Mike 54. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Darnold on 1st down. This one caught by Crowder. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Darnold to throw again. A screen to Bell. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now whistles here, and it looks like we've got a Panther that's having some difficulty down there getting up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Darnold going to lead the offense up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Here's Darnold. That's caught. It's Thomas. Nice gain of 8 that time, and it's 2nd and goal.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
K'Wan Short is really rounded into being one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And what I really like about his game are his hands. When he gets his hands on an opposing blocker and locks out, he's going to end up winning that battle and either getting to the quarterback or taking down a ball carrier.
Mike, 56, right there, 56. You never win.
Now Darnold on 3rd and goal. And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Mario Addison, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, every now and then you just absolutely outguess yourself. 3rd and inches, and they decide not to run the ball. You end up seeing the end result.
The end result was not good. They elect to pass, and it backfires. So on 4th down, the Jets turn to kicker Sam Ficken. This is an easy one, 23-yarder. Ficken's kick is good. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22.
Let's get off the field.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now it's Newton here off the bootleg. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. And a look now at how the Jets line up defensively.
C.J. Mosley's your prototypical Alabama linebacker. They'll come downhill and smack you, but they understand the game so well.
Ready. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it.
Wow, that ball was not free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. On the ground, McCaffrey. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 44, Newton. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
Out of the gun, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
On now, Graham Gano. He's hit from 63 as recently as last year. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. He wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
Well, this offense got to be loving this. After the long missed field goal, they'll take over on the other side of the 50. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. We figured they'd come out with intensity and aggressiveness on the defensive side of the ball, and they have an early turnover to show for it.
They lived up to their reputation. That's who they are. They want to attack on every play, even though they're playing defense. And you're exactly right. Force the early turnover, and now they'll try to attack again and again throughout the game.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Right there outside. 54, right there. 54 Mike. I'm scared.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves him needing about 7 here on 3rd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. On fourth down, the Jets turn things over to Locke Edwards to punt it. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They start on the ground with McCaffrey, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Newton. He's going to look deep for more, and that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. McCaffrey following the penalty. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
That's it. Look at it. 57 to Mike. Watch the screen. Pass.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he'll take it across midfield down into Jet territory. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
On now, Graham Gano. He's hit from 63 as recently as last year. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for him now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
And New York set to take the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. So they tried the 59-yarder and missed it, and now this offense starts just 1 yard shy of midfield. Now a first down carry by Bell. Credit him with a 1 yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Darnold from the gun. Thomas has got it, complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Here's Darnold. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Boy, Brandon, that's what I'd call an ill-advised pass right there on 3rd down. I mean, you just need a yard or two to keep the drive going. Instead, he's trying to hit a home run. You've got to really like your chances if you're going to take a shot like that.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Check back, check back.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today.
Here's McCaffrey. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1 yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Let's pick it up. It's out time, guys. Out time. Let's get off the field.
A shotgun snap for Newton. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The New York set to take the field. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
We got to get the ball. D, get the ball right here. Go.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. You might want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Bell. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. Well, they're going to have some space here on the free kick.
You're exactly right about that. They just wish that they could have the free kick and not give up the 2 points.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. Fielded at the 20. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so
well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now Newton on first down. That's caught. It's Jarius Wright. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Ready? Ready? Watch the twist, watch the twist.
To throw on 3rd down, Newton. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. New York set to take the field. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position after a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
Now the second down throw on target. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now this throw caught left side. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. In our meetings this week, they kind of tipped us off. They wanted to play ultra-aggressive, forcing fumbles. They just did that right there.
They took it to the next level, didn't they? You're exactly right, because everyone talks about being aggressive on defense and tackling well, but they were talking about getting after the football, making sure the ball was stripped out each and every time and lined up someone to get them on the ground.
He just working. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 from back at their own 10-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Newton. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion. Not more dynamic, got the lead. Even though he got it, couldn't turn into much.
4 yards on the escalation, so that's out back in. He's going to do more. And it falls in. He's looking to get out of the game more. Takes a second, 3rd down.
Well, so they're going to try getting in football. 3rd time in his action until they haven't completed one yet. I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. I feel like that's something there to capitalize.
You're right. We're only in the 1st quarter. A lot of opportunity ahead. Now it's... And he comes back with one complete. And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Ready? 57. Hey, watch the ball, watch the ball.
Newton on 1st down. Oh, he nearly picked it. Maybe daylight in front of him if he could have held on. Instead, 2nd down.
Makes it 2nd and 10 at the 21-yard line.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Don't get nervous.
To throw again. Newton, quick slant, caught by Moore. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 14 yards, good for a Panther 1st down. 2nd quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Here we go, D. Here.
Throwing again is Newton. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A first down there on a pickup of 25. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41.
He's not going to get me.
From the gun, here's Newton. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Le'Veon Bell and the Jets ready to begin their next drive. He's hoping to get it going. They're hoping to get him going, too. You know, he's about ready to pop one here in the second quarter. He's hoping.
And his offensive line teammates, they want to get one of those, too, because they want to continue to run the football. Most offensive linemen like that part of the game better than pass protection because they're not taking blows. They're actually dealing them out. So what they want to do is show the coaches, hey, if we pop one, we're having success. That way they won't go away from the running game.
He'll be hoping to pop one, break one here this go-around. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 24-yard line.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Looking deep for Demarius. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And a sack by one of the most consistent D linemen in the game, Gerald McCoy. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Carolina getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
McCaffrey on the counter. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 11. Here's Newton. Got a man. It's right. And he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
And Le'Veon Bell making his way back out onto the field now. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
Yeah, he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. To throw is Darnold, and Thomas has it. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. On 2nd down and 4. Darnold. Herndon's got it complete. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
Darnold now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Darnold. He gets it to Thomas. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hey, man, watch the boot, watch the boot.
Bell. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Inside. 54's Mike. Check, watch 54, watch 54. And here we go, watch the check.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Right there, 54 Mike. Check.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That play gets him 6 yards and sets them up with a 1st and goal.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Now a play fake here on first down. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
Well, surprise, surprise. First and goal at the 1. No quarterback sneak. No running play. They decided to throw for it, but the pressure got to them quickly and put the quarterback down.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
This is Bell. And a little bit of space there. Takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on third and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Complete to Herndon. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is weaving through traffic, and now he's free. He's at the 50, the 30, the 20, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. As his guys are in for 6, and the Panthers have taken the lead. Graham Gano on for the extra point. And this is good, and it makes it a 9-3 ball game. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. This Jets offense back out now by Darnold. He has not really got a lot of comfort there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming that a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the shorter drops? Maybe they think the back and participants, you don't want to
against his defense. What do you think?
Takes real coordination between the pass and the receiver because you've got to read the zone where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zone, sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
McCaffrey. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Check 50, check 50.
This is McCaffrey on the give. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
The Panthers on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now Newton. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And that will push the lead up to 5. So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Sam Darnold leading the offense out for their next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a throw out wide to Anderson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
The Jets on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. He's got Herndon, his tight end. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
On first down, Bell, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of 2 there, second down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. On second down now. It's Bell. Now Bell hit. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. They've got the lead. They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide, they want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses.
What's that? Right at the 80.
Watch my board. Here we go.
Following the fumble recovery, Newton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And an alley to run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Panther first down. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Newton's pass is on target to Moore. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the ball ends up out of bounds, so it'll be a loss on the play.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13.
Set the tone, defense.
Here's Newton. He's going to take off with it. It's a gain of 9 yards. And just like that, it's third down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Set. 180. Mike 54.
Hey, we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
Now Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey, and he'll get nothing out of that one. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal.
For the field goal, a 30-yard attempt.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and that'll push the lead up to 8. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And New York set to take the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Here we go, son. 5-4. Mike 5-4.
Yeah, let's get sandwich.
On 1st and 10, Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. K1 short, his second sack of the night. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Got a man, it's Berrios complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A first down there on a pickup of 25. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive.
And they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
To throw again on second down. Darnold. That one complete to Anderson. Anderson loses the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success at least so far here in the second quarter. Following the delivery, Newton, now they go screen, incomplete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now it's Newton. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Incomplete. Out of the end zone. Brings up 3rd down and 4.
It's hard to field position on his drive, now he faces a 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, Newton. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. DJ Moore in the final seconds of the first half. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Gano the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and the end result, a Panthers touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Gano out to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Let's try back upfield.
talk about the running game. Where Panthers won't pull you over back to the quarterback. They got to reestablish that in order to try and keep their man upright.
Because they have been bowled over a lot so far in this one. The second half starts with a carry by Bell. Give a couple of carries there, 2nd and 8. Despite the scoreline, I think they kind of like where they are. They're on the road, just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. A play fake, and it's Darnold. He's going to launch this thing way downfield, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's a give to Bell. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. And he fields it cleanly. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
Set. Ready, 54. Rip left, rip left.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long.
Check three.
A shotgun snap for Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
And New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
3 bucks, 3 bucks, 3 bucks.
They'll try and get the running game going with Bell. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. On 2nd and 9, Darnold on the catch. It's Crowder. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
To throw is Darnold. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
On 4th down, Sam Darnold trots off, and on comes another Sam. Jets kicker Sam Ficken. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. Ficken's kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And the Panthers coming out now. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the gun, here's Newton. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
To throw is Newton. Now he's going to go up top. Over and got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one goes for 30 yards.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, Pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Here we go, T. Here I come. Here I come.
Operating from the gun, Newton. And his throw is incomplete. He was looking for Jarius Wright that time, but it's going to be 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. They'll run with McCaffrey. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 22-yard line. Well, if you're going to give him that kind of time, he's just going to shred you.
You might as well put a sofa out there for him. I mean, that's unbelievable because I don't care who you are in coverage. With that amount of time, someone's going to shake free, and he's going to be able to throw the ball with a whole lot of confidence.
Ready? 180. Right there. 54 Mike. Target. Look at it. Ready?
Play action. It's Newton. That is caught at the 7. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Stepping, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Cam Newton, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Gano for the extra point. And that one makes this a 19-point game. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And Cam able to take it himself in for the score. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. This Jets offense heading back out there now, led by Sam Darnold. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop, and they've been able to do that.
And he's gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
This one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now, third and long. They'll run it with Bell. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be fourth down.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class, and there was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it two different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for the fourth time tonight. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
A good start to the drive. Here's that's caught out on the left side. A good pickup there, 26 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
Newton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Cam fakes the give and keeps it. Going quickly out wide to Moore. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 46-yard line.
That's it. Ready to eat. 54. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
This is McCaffrey looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
Newton now to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
We ain't giving them nothing today.
Now a give, right side, McCaffrey. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
In your face.
This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. He'll buy some time right, and he's going to keep it here. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 20-yard line.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of him, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey. What is it?
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
Well, this has been a good march down the field, but now they're stuck looking at a 2nd and 14. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Newton. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will extend their lead now up to 22. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick. Right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Robbie Anderson making his way back onto the field. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Off of play action, Darnold. His throw incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for. And now it's second down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
On second down, it's Bell, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give him a lot of confidence to help turn things around. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Darnold. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The free safety, Trey Boston, there to knock it away.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Newton over the middle, and it's incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did, and remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, If there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Panther first down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. On the ground, McCaffrey pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
Come get some. Come on here.
From the 50, Newton. And this is complete to Moore on the comebacker. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. Tackle made by Foley Fadukasi, the former UConn Husky. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Now Davis. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
I'm here all day. Kill.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll try the air now with Newton. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Newton's pass, thrown away and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 11.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the first down. Give him 9 on the carry, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. This from 25 yards out. Gano's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And the Jets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. A shotgun snap for Darnold. This one caught by Crowder. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now a draw play. This is Bell. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for 3rd down. Darnold from the gun. That's complete. It's Bell. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside, not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the 1st. Darnold now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Herndon's got it complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
So 2nd and inches after that 1st down completion went just shy of the marker. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Eric Reed, the former LSU Tiger, making the play on the defensive side. Now, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now it's Darnold. A screen to Bell. And he is going to lose yardage here. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 7 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now a run with McCaffrey. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain.
That's right, baby. They don't want it.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he'll take this one down to the 36.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down.
You're not ready.
Now Newton. Completes it to Davis. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be fourth down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the fourth quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
New York set to take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Now this is Le'Veon Bell with a reception. Now Bell hit. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out, and no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right?
Yes,
as the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was...
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. He had the option there, decided to keep it, exposed himself, fumbled it.
Yeah, you worry about hits, he's going to make that situation. In this case, not only does he take the hit, he coughs the ball up, as you noted.
The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Darnold now to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
We don't want this.
Here's Darnold. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. To throw is Darnold. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he'll go down at the 28. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. It looks like, yes, it is 6 defensive backs on the field for Carolina.
They're going with a dime set. Throwing again is Darnold. But he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 17-yard line. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Darnold going to lead the offense up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now Darnold, caught here by Griffin. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
Watch the whip.
On 2nd down now. It's Bell. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. And I don't know that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head. Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
They try and run on 1st down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Here's McCaffrey. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
What ain't it? Mike 54. Mike 54. Wild Bill. Wild Bill.
3rd down. Here's McCaffrey. Yeah, this defense rallies, and they stop him short of the 1st down right near the 24. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package. Still move them off line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He'll look to set up his blockers. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And New York set to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Hey, check.
On 1st down, Darnold. And Darnold, he lost the football. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
He's going to let it fly and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's fourth down. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. So possession goes over here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour and something that you noticed along the way. Just about every camp we visited, when the defense got together, everyone was doing ball drills. Defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary, because they understood how vital it was to take the football away. And they wanted every opportunity. When the ball was knocked free, they want all those guys to be familiar with touching the ball so they could pick up the fumble or get the interception. And we saw it pay off in this one here.
Yeah, 5 times. They'll remember this one. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Panthers are winners here as we say so long from Charlotte.